Hi everybody, this is Casey from the King County Public Library Genealogy and Local History Department, and we are back again with another edition of our Adventures in the Archive series. And this month we are celebrating Veterans Day, and once again we have taken our display case to feature some of our collections with some local veterans. To the left of me is my left. This is the Woodrow Booth collection. If you followed our page or been up to the department anytime within the last year, we have featured his collection before in the department. It was really popular. A local news segment even came out to feature a little portion about his display here in the collection that was donated. So I'll talk a little bit about Woodrow's collection again. And another collection featuring a local veteran is the Robert Wrighton collection. I don't think I've ever spoken about his before. It's one that we've had for a while, but his also has a lot of really interesting items in the collection as well, so I'll talk a little bit about his too. So just to start, Woodrow Booth, to give a little bit of background about him, he was born in 1922 in Fixer, Kentucky, and he died last January at the age of 99 in Villa Hills, Kentucky. He was a squad leader during World War II, and he fought in the South Pacific. He was actually injured during the Battle of Peleliu. I hope I'm pronouncing that correctly, but that was what earned him his Purple Heart, which you can actually see on display here in the department as well. And again, if you're in the department within the last year, you've probably seen a lot of his collection before, but there's so much good stuff in this collection we wanted to feature it again. So you can see his dog tags, his full obit is here as well to learn a little bit more about him. Some insignias, his hat, his army jacket is also on display further on in the department if you'd like to see that as well. And again, we have some of his awards, and then his Purple Heart, of course, on display as well. For Robert Wrighton, he was born in 1110 Parkway in West Covington, according to the donation letter that came with his collection, to George and Mary, and he went to Covington Latin School before going into the service. He was actually a tail gunner in a B-52 that was shot down in Italy during World War II. So the donor of this collection, a relative of his, reached out to us a couple years ago as a way to preserve his stuff, preserve some of the history about Robert, because the donor didn't really know a lot about him. He just sort of received this from another family member and wanted to make sure that the history of World War II veteran was preserved. So we're really glad to have his collection here. He has some of his air medals here with us. According to the donation letter, he also received a Purple Heart. That went to a different family member, but we have some of his certificates and papers to go along with that, which is really kind of interesting in of itself. Some of the material that I think is really interesting are some of these Western Union telegrams. These were sent to his mother when he went missing in action, and then eventually when his plane was found. So that whole sort of correspondence between her and some of the military is really moving to kind of see, when he went missing and when, unfortunately, his plane was found. And again, I didn't really know a lot about Robert from the letter. His relative didn't know a lot about him either. He was actually shot down when he was 19, so he lived a very short life. I did a little bit of research on him using Fold 3. If you're sort of thinking about Veterans Day, wanting to know a little bit more about your military family members, Fold 3 is a genealogy database that can be found on the King County Public Library's website under the Genealogy and Local History page. And for Fold 3, you can search through conflict, name, date if you know your relative. A lot of records are cross-referenced with Ancestry, but it's a good resource if you're just sort of starting out with wanting to know a little bit more about a military family member and don't really know where to start. Again, we get a lot of questions about that. People say, well, I have no idea where to begin. Fold 3 is a good resource for that. And again, behind me, some books as well in the department you can check out about doing research on your military family members. This one here, Finding Your Father's War, that's a really good resource as well. I was using that too when I was trying to look up more information about Robert as well. So again, if you're up in the department anytime, take a look at our display. It's really interesting. Some stuff you might not know about, some local veterans. And again, if you're doing any kind of research on a military family member, feel free to ask us questions in the department. You can find us online and through phone calls as well. We're happy to help. So I hope everyone has a good Veterans Day, have a good fall, and we will see you next time.